All right, factor higher degree polynomials. So this assignment has a lot of stuff you learned in IM2, and some of it was kind of complicated. I don't think complicated, just it was. If you don't remember it, it could be very challenging. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, and then also make a couple of the videos going over some of those skills that you learned in more detail. So if you watch this video and it's not good enough for you, you'll see a couple more links in the webpage text to watch other videos that should clarify it more. So the question here says factor completely x to the 4 plus 5x cubed plus 4x plus 20. I have that written down right here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do factor by grouping. And typically, you'll just take the first two and the second set and look at those only and factor out what you can. So in x to the 4 and 5x to the 3, what can we factor out? We can factor out x cubed. So x cubed comes out here. And what's left over? Well, x cubed times, do this one in blue, x plus x cubed times 5. All right? Now we're going to come over here. Do the exact same thing. What can we factor out of 4x and 20? Well, 4 can come out of both. So we get plus 4. And what's left over? Well, you're going to notice 4 times x and 4 times positive 5. You see how this and this are the same? That's what they're trying to get at. That's the goal. So x to the cubed times x plus 5 and 4 times x plus 5. They're both multiplying times x plus 5. So we can rewrite this as a product of two binomials. X cubed will go here. Our plus 4 goes there. And then we write x plus 5 just one time. So that would be the answer for question 1. And it doesn't matter if you write x plus 5. I'll go back. You can write these in any order. And I actually will flip it around right now just to show you what I'm referring to. So x plus 5 and x cubed plus 4. And that looks right. And it is. And that's factor by grouping. Okay, question 2. All right, so x squared minus 4 times x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we need to factor both of these things. And they're both done differently, how they're factored. So this one right here, we're looking at it. This is the difference of two squares. So both these numbers can be square rooted perfectly, which means, I'll show you. So we're ignoring this right now, and we're going to work with that in a second. Actually, I'll just write it right down here right now. Okay, so that's down there. We're only working on this right now. So because both x squared and minus 4 can be square rooted, meaning x squared equals, the square root of x squared is equal to x, and the square root of 4 is equal to 2. So when it's like that, and there's a subtraction sign in the middle, what we end up with is x, and then 2 in both spots, and this becomes a negative, and that becomes a positive. The way that works is when you multiply, the negative 2x and the positive 2x cancel out. So that's why there's no middle term like there is over here. They cancel out. It's a negative 2x and a positive 2x. So those cancel out. So that's factored. Like I said, I'll put a video detailing this with more examples if you don't know how to do that well. And then over here, we're going to factor this now. You may remember this, or you may not have been taught it, but most students have been taught the diamond method, or I'm going to call it the X method. It's called a diamond method because I think some teachers draw a complete diamond. I think doing the entire diamond is kind of pointless, but we'll go with it looking like this for now. This top box is going to be A times C, and this bottom is B. And we'll talk about what goes in here in a second. So I'm going to draw one more. So a times c, our a in this problem is right here. It's a 1. And then our b is a 6, and our c is a 9. So 1 times 9 is 9. Our bottom, b, is just 6. It's always going to be that middle number. It becomes 6. Now what you're trying to do here is what numbers multiply to get 9 and add to get 6? Well, 9 times 1 gives us 9, but that adds to 10. 3 times 3 gives us 9 and adds to 6. So 3 and 3. Now, these are just factors. We've done this before in other assignments. So of these factors, which ones add to 6? It's 3 and 3. Okay, so once you're here, we have these numbers now. We can now do the reverse box. So x squared goes into that box. Our back number, 9, comes down here. And then what goes in here are these two numbers. And you have to add an x at the end. Okay? So once we have that, erase my arrows. What you're going to do is I look either this way or this way, it doesn't really matter, but factor out whatever you can. We can factor out an x, go in that direction. So then x times what equals x squared? X. X times what equals 3x? 3. 3 times what equals 9? 3. And you check with the last one, 3 times x does equal 3x. So now we have factored x squared plus 6x plus 9. It's going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3. So our entire answer is all of this. X minus 2, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 3. If you want, you can write x plus 3 squared, which I will do because it's faster. So x minus 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 3 squared. Question 2 is done. Next question. Okay, so we have 2x to the 4 plus 4x cubed minus 30x squared as question 3. And I have that right here. All right, so it's just a regular trinomial. The first thing you want to look at, which I haven't really talked about quite yet, is if you can factor out anything out of all these terms, which we can. We can get a 2 out of all of them because they're all even. That's 2, so that'll put that down, or at least get rid of that coefficient. And then we have x squared in all of these. So let's do that first. Let's pull the 2x out. I'll write that initial 2x squared. And then we have what's left over. Well, we have an x squared here plus 2x minus 15. And now from here, we're going to go to that x method. So a times c, which is 1 times negative 15, gives us negative 15. And b comes down here. So what are the factors of 15? 3 and 5. I know this is negative, right? So one of these will be negative and one will be positive. And which of these, if one's negative, one's positive, will add up to 2? Well, if we make that one negative, 5 plus negative 3 is 2. So 5x and negative 3x. Do our box. So remember our first term, x squared, goes here. Our last term goes here. And then we put these terms in any order. When I say any order, negative 3x could be put up here if you want. Doesn't matter. So you can flip them out. Now we're going to look up this way. We can pull out an x from both. X times x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 5. And then 5 times x. So we factored it as x plus 5 times x minus 3 times our original 2x squared out in front. And we have so x plus 5, x minus 3. Ooh. That was in exponents world. Okay, 2x squared. Let's get down. Try this again. 5 and x minus 3. Yeah, that's right. Question 4. All right, so this is going to be another factor by grouping. Whenever you have 4, you're going to try and want to factor by grouping it first and see if that works. So x cubed, and you can see right away that the first 2, we can pull out an x squared. And then the second set, the second pair, we can pull out, looks like a negative 5. I have it written down right here. So remember, we're going to factor both of these. So we can pull out a x squared up here. What's left over is x plus 7, and I bet you we will see this right here. On this side, we can pull out a negative 5. What's left over? Very likely an x plus 7. X goes here, negative 5 plus 7 times 7 is negative 35. So we've now factored this. We get our x squared minus 5 with our parentheses times x plus 7. And we are done with the assignment. You always do parentheses like that right away. Sometimes it helps. Make sure you get the format right. Minus 5, x plus 7. And we are done.